What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? We in the building. Y'all know what it is. Enlighten 88 Podcast. We here doing what we do each and every Saturday night, talking our shit. Just a bunch of dumbass geniuses talking what we talk, doing what we do. You never know what we gonna speak on, but that's probably why you tune in anyway. You know what I mean? The rant for this week. For some reason this week I've been seeing and hearing this same thing over and over. So I felt like I needed to speak on it. And that's just me. It is what it is. Stop saying black people and then generalizing everything, right? You got some black people that like pumpkin pie. I don't understand why, but some of them do. You know what I mean? Just because certain black people don't like the Wiz, don't mean I don't like the Wiz. I actually wear certain clothing brands that certain black people feel like black people ain't supposed to wear, but I still wear it. Why? Because I'm me. I am who I am. I'm not trying to be you. I'm not trying to be nobody else. I think people need to get out of this mindset of thinking that because you are black, you're supposed to do certain things or be in certain spaces or act a certain way. It doesn't work like that. Y'all got to cut that shit out. All black people ain't made the same, god damn it. You mean? But now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and bring the panel in the building. First up, she looked real confused, but she in the building. Petty ass pumpkin, what's happening?
I look confused.
I don't know what you was doing on your camera there for a second, but you know.
Hey y'all, what's the word? It's your girl Petty.
Roger that. So I notice every week you try and make sure you bring the fits.
You like that shit, huh? My mama, this fits the vibe for today too. I'm like, she finna come up here and enlighten us about this emotional education and shit. I'm finna put my little school fit on.
Oh shit, not the school fit.
The little schoolgirl fit. Yeah, last week was hip hop week. I was fattying too.
Roger the fuck that. I love it and I like it. I like it and I love it. Next up, we got the motherfucker you will never see at night. Easy the General. What's happening?
Salute. I got to say, Pumpkin, I've been wanting to goddamn tell you since we've been on the show, you be dressing your ass off.
Yeah. You like that shit too.
I was gonna tell you, but I just didn't get a chance to. But I be peeping the fit.
Raw beat you to it.
Yeah. So basically, what he said was he was scared to tell you, but since I said something first, that gave him the alley you to say, you know what? Let me gather my courage like the lion.
No, here's what it is. So last week I was gonna say something, and then I forgot. And then when you popped up on the screen, and I was like, "Yo, that fit fire, especially with the hairstyle and the beads." I was like, "Yo, I gotta tell Shorty that she be dressing like you be putting that shit on."
Thank you.
Raw just mad. He couldn't say it like that. You couldn't articulate it. You couldn't articulate it like that.
I like the way you said it, Easy, for sure.
Roger the fuck that. Whatever, man. I ain't got to deal with this shit. Next up, we got the ex-nastiest motherfucker on the planet who trying to pretend like he vanilla, but he really not. Hectic, what's happening, little nigga?
We can't hear you.
You might want to unmute your mic trying to be Joe Cool over there. Look at yeah. I'm dapper. I'm debonair. Got the button up. I see you, son.
He's very demure.
I get it. So you put the button up on to try to be more studious since we was talking about emotions today, huh?
No, I totally forgot what we were talking about today. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Oh, okay.
Now we lying.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Easy. Thank you, Easy. Right. Damn it. I was in the midst of doing too much. It is what it is. We ain't got no intro again today. It is what it is. So we just want to go ahead and bring the guests in the building.
You need to
It's
tighten
Jayna
up.
Swan in the building. What's happening?
Raw, you were dropping bars right from the start.
This is
I'm
what I
telling
do.
you. I'm telling you. And
That's
you
what I
all look
do.
great. I'm glad I decided to put on a button up and didn't just show up and
Oh, shit.
Hey, look, it's like church, and tomorrow's Easter. Come as you are.
That's it. That's it.
No, that ain't how we come on Easter.
No,
What?
no, hectic. You can't say that word.
See,
I was about to say anybody could have said that, but hectic. I was about to say that.
Why I can't.
No, you can never say that term ever, son.
never.
Ever. Especially when we talking about church.
Yeah.
Not from you. It is what
Okay.
it is. But tonight, we're gonna let our special guest introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and what makes you so gifted at doing what you do.
Thank you so much for giving me the floor. So my name's Jayna Swan, and I help really everybody but leaders in life find skills around emotional mastery. And I think that it's something that's extremely powerful in this day and age with all of the things that are happening nationwide continuously. Since 2020, we've all been super stressed out. So I find that the more that we can master our emotions, the more that we can actually step into the life that we're looking to have, because chaos happens outside of us regardless of what we try and do about it.
Wow.
So we just got to choose to show up differently. We have to choose to respond versus react. Because
No, that's a fact. That's
Yeah.
a fact. I was going to say the name of your podcast, but that name way too long for me to say. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and say the name of your podcast for the
It
folks out there.
yeah, if you want to hear more about these things, it's called A Millennial's Guide to Healthy Emotional Regulation in Life and Business.
What does that mean?
So really, it's just me. I'm the millennial, and I'm guiding you, the listener, to healthy emotional regulation, right? There are a lot of ways that we can regulate ourselves. Some people lean into alcohol. Some people lean into, there's all these different ways, but I want to encourage people to use healthy ways, right? And to me, healthy is also not overpriced ways. And there are a lot of ways out there that cost a lot of money to, they dangle the carrot and they want you to pay a bunch. Well, I'm going to sit here and everything I talk about today is going to be something that's free, something that you can do by yourself without needing to purchase anything, because healthy emotional regulation should be accessible to everyone. And so that's really something that I'm passionate about sharing. And I'm excited to be able to help you guys out with it, because if we don't regulate our emotions properly, then life is going to take us for a ride versus us taking it for a ride.
No, facts. First of all, I'm gonna say I appreciate, one, you being here, but two, you just said a bar and didn't even know it. One thing I can't stand is when you watch a video and they go through all this. You could be this person, and you're gonna be like this, and I could teach you how to this, and blah 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 blah. So click this link and pay for this right here, so you can finally see. I fucking hate them shits.
Yeah.
They piss me off every single time, and they know how to draw you in too.
Oh, yeah.
Because they be having you ready to hear what's about to happen, and then you hear absolutely nothing.
Yeah. It's
And
breadcrumbing.
it fucks with my emotions every single time. What would you say would be the most healthiest way to deal with a, I guess, stressful situation, if you would? Like the easiest way, not even saying the best. What would be the one easiest thing you could do to say, you know what, this is how I could bring myself down or change my mindset or whatever?
Go for a walk. Simplest thing, especially when we're talking about anger or rage. Walk away from the situation, because giving yourself the space to walk away from that situation and then getting the movement in your body is going to help get the energy out of you, which is what's happening, because anger is just a buildup of this fire energy, this aggression, right? And so we tend to sit still and just want to hold our ground. That's not going to help. That's only going to make you see more red. That's only going to cause more issues down the line. So instead, just walk away. And if that just means walking in circles outside a building until you can calm yourself down, you can start to think more logically again, that's the easiest way. And it's free. It literally literally just walk away, or if you're in a wheelchair, wheel away. Like, this is accessible for everybody. It doesn't matter. Like, grab your crutches and start walking.
I tend to piss a lot of people off a lot of times
He
Okay.
does. He
because
really does.
I'm the dude that will walk away in a heartbeat.
There you go.
And I tell people all the time, I'm walking away for you, not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they look at me like, what the hell does that even mean? I'm like, once you get me to the point where I got to walk away, it was probably going to get bad for both of us at that moment.
Yeah. If you think about the most well-trained, like martial artists in the world and boxers in the world, when they come up to confrontation, yeah, they stand their ground. Yes, they are powerful in their presence, but they are always the one who walks away. And you always see that like last minute smirk or giggle because they know that they could just plaster this person on the ground. They know that they could just take them in a split second, one hit, and they'd be done. But they also have the restraint because they've developed that level of discipline to be able to walk away. And I think that's what I'd love people to embrace here is that emotional mastery is the ability to walk away, because that's the stronger person in the situation. The person who actually knows how to fight isn't usually the one who takes the first swing. It's the one who's scared and the one who's got this. It's almost like their inferiority complex is coming up, like all their insecurities are coming up and they have to act because they don't have the restraint to be able to hold back. That ability to not say something when you want to and it's on the tip of your lips, but you're like, if I say this, I can't take it back. Those things, those moments, like if we can just catch those moments, then you can set yourself up for such great situations in the future. But it's when we allow ourselves to just get in that part of our brain, which really what's happening is when you start to get to where you're essentially seeing red, is what they like to say. Like it's all rage at that point. What's happening is your brain has a left side and a right side. And one side of your brain, being that your right side of your brain is all strategy, it's all logic. That left side, flip that around. Left side of the brain is the strategy and logic, and the right side of the brain is emotion. So what's happening is the strategy, logic side of your brain completely shuts down and you're all emotion. But when we go for that walk, when you get that emotion out, you allow yourself to process, then it allows that logical brain to come back online. Otherwise, you're overriding your system with just emotions. And I know that if you sit here and think about it, you can think back to a time where you've been that angry, where you, from the outside looking in, you're like, well, of course, duh, that's logical. But I didn't see it in the moment because I was so angry.
Yeah.
All I want to do is prove them wrong, right? That's what we
Not
want to help
that.
you avoid.
I'm actually sitting here thinking about 30 situations where
Right.
I've been there.
Can
In the
I
black
ask you a
community.
question?
Yes.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay, so a lot of times with my generation, it's a lot of shit going on a lot of the time, and I be feeling like I have to emotionally regulate for other people.
Yeah.
What's the boundary that you would recommend for something like this?
Yeah, that's such a great point because there is a benefit to regulating with others. Sometimes it's called co-regulation. So you're in rage and you want to be able to come down quickly. If you have a friend who's pretty grounded and you just go and sit and talk with them or call them up on the phone, it's a great way to co-regulate. What you're talking about, Pumpkin, is when other people they want you to co-regulate them, but they haven't asked you for consent. And so you are now probably a very empathetic person. You're probably someone who has a big heart. You really want to help people, but you're asking me when my plate's already full and someone comes in unconsensually like putting their stuff on me, how do I set that boundary? And what a great question that is. And what I would encourage you in that moment is to tell the person, hey, look, my plate's really full right now and it sounds like you need help. And then they might say, no, I just need to get it out of me. And in that case, you can then decide, cool, can I just sit and listen to this? Because I can do that for friends. If they just need to dump out, I'm literally not listening to what they're saying. It's in one ear, out the other. I'm a sounding board.
Right.
But I think what your heart is saying is, I want to be present for them. And so if you can't be, that's when you just say, hey, do you really need me to like be present, be here for you? And if so, I can't do that right now, but I can connect you to someone else who can. I think that's that second step you're looking for is like, it's okay to tell someone you can't do this right now. I had to do that. And I'm the person that people call with SOS, but I've been going through some hard times. I had someone ask me for advice that crossed over into my coaching frame. And I said to her, hey, I'm going to have to send you a link for a coaching call if you want this answer, because I don't have space for this right now, mentally and emotionally.
I get that.
So does that helpful? Is that kind of?
It does. I get the boundary there.
Okay, cool. I think it's really like learning with ourselves. It's okay to not always be the helper. You don't always have to be the one that saves everybody, because sometimes when we're that person, we become so habitually the superhero for everybody that they naturally start to expect that from you.
Right.
And then when you go set this boundary, they're like, oh, what do you mean? Oh my God. And they like have this big blow up response. And it's like, I can't.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, it's okay. I give you permission. I give you permission to not always have to save the day.
Right.
I think sometimes people forget that the strong person needs help too.
Yep.
So when you constantly lean on your strong friends, who the fuck do they get to lean on?
Right.
When do they get to lean on somebody? Why y'all don't reach out to them too and say, hey, what you got going on?
Yeah.
Let me help you out. Let me let you vent for a little bit, because I know I'm one of those strong people. So people reach out to me to say shit, but don't nobody reach out to me like, hey, you all right?
Yeah.
You good? Are you alive? Are you well? We don't actually get that. So I think a lot of times this strong person has so much emotions that they're holding in. It's easy for us to erupt, especially in certain situations.
This is true.
Because we already got so much built up that it's like when that one thing finally hit, it's like, all right, it's like a rubber band. We already stretched out, pause. And now that one thing happened, it's like, and that's when I start walking away.
You don't like to be stretched out?
So you had
Boy.
you had to do it. You had to do it.
We gotta put him on.
He was having a real moment. Like,
Exactly.
So
You
can I add something to that?
We could have kept moving.
I'm going to add something to that, Raw. So I'm in that position, is that I'm the SOS girl, and I am still processing the grief of the loss of a friend from about 2 weeks ago. And I have so many people reaching out because I've been very open about this. And it's always the same thing. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And let me just remind everybody that asking what someone needs when they're in that situation is actually the worst thing you could do, because you're putting that on them to decide. That's an extra task on my plate. My plate is full. Please don't do that to me right now. And I know it comes from love. I know that they're asking, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? Here's what I offer instead. I started telling my friends, instead of texting me saying, how's your day going? Because now it gets me thinking about all the terrible things, right? Instead, say, I know you're going to have a great day today. I know that you're going to have a smile, and I know that you're going to find one thing to celebrate. Because when you use the words I know and you put a positive statement behind it, you're now seeding their mind to find that all day long. So I said, just tell me, I know you're going to have a great day and you're going to find one great thing. And then what do? I find something, because they seeded that. So instead of asking what I need, tell me how I'm doing. And that's the greatest way to support a friend.
So I got a coworker every day, and it's crazy because I know I'm starting to wear on her now. Every day, every morning I see her and I say, good morning. So at first she would always say morning. I said, well, why you always leave out the good part? She's like, well, how do I know it's going to be a good morning? I said, well, it's up to you to make it a good morning. And she looked at me. She was like, what you mean it's up to me? I don't know how much work we got. I don't know this. I said, yeah, you don't know, but you automatically assumed that the day might not be good before you even got here. So therefore, you determined your day before your day even started. You told yourself you're probably not going to have a bad day. So therefore, no matter what happens, you're going to end up probably not having a good day. So the more I say it, the more she's starting to understand. It's those little things of just speaking it into existence, speaking your day into existence. When you wake up in the morning, today's going to be a good day.
Great
I,
day.
it's great. I text somebody the other day, good morning. They said, well, how you know the day is good? I said, well, you woke up. So why not use this opportunity to make this a great day to have a great day?
Yeah.
They couldn't even respond after that.
Yeah.
They didn't even know what to
Most
say.
people, I honestly feel most people forget that your morning technically already started out great because you opened your eyes.
Facts.
Boom.
You already started at a high plateau. The rest of it is up to you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to, when I was younger, when people would be like, "How you doing?" I just used to say "good" because I didn't want to talk about what I was going through. So I was like, if I say I'm good, people won't ask what's wrong. But I started learning that although I was doing that, I didn't have any like attachment to it. It was just something to say. But later in life, I started to analyze, like thinking about like all the positive things. Like I might be going through some stuff, but I'm walking around. I'm able to walk past you and tell you how I feel, how I'm doing. Like, so I am good. And so I started, you know, responding in a better way when people are like, "How you doing?" It's like, "Well, I'm up, I'm healthy, I can't complain." Instead of just giving a canned response, and that helped me start having a better dealing with situations better and compartmentalizing stuff better.
Yeah. I
Do you
refuse to wait for the good days to happen. I'm going to
fact?
create the good days.
Do
That's
you
a
think
good
it's
point.
do you think it's a good idea to create a, I guess, team, if you will, of people around you to help make sure you have like those good days or somebody to talk to? Because I know a lot of people feel like, oh, I can't talk to my friends, which I feel like is
Mhm.
weird. If you can't talk to your friends, why are they your friends? I never understood that.
Yeah. I agree.
So do you think it's good to either create a team or just surround yourself with only those people?
Yeah, both and both and but 100%. The team, that's a great use of word too, because friends is too ambiguous, because friends is like acquaintances, people you see once in a while at a party or like, but a team is a great way to look at it because they're there to support you. They're there to play the game with you. They want to win with you. That's exactly what you need, is to build a team around you. I come from, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm in business. So my team is the mastermind that I'm in. And I'm not necessarily the host. I joined someone else's mastermind. So it's just about having a micro community. It's about having something that's like anywhere from like 5 to 12 people. Like that's a good tight knit group where you can get close enough with each person. And the key is that when you have a group of that size that you can relate to, can go to with your problems, that you can trust, then you know that, like, I was really scared to share with people what I was going through the moment it happened because I felt like it was a burden, because the loss that I experienced was very unexpected. It's just a horrific thing that happened. And I kept feeling like I don't want to share this with people. It's heavy. I'm going to burden them. And I had a really good friend from that mastermind tell me, Jayna, it's not a burden. And a burden shared is a burden halved. So don't carry this alone. Share it with us. And so I started to share it with 3 or 4 people from that group. And it got lighter and lighter and a little bit easier and a little bit easier, because I knew, as I happened to be speaking on stage. This happened on a Monday and I was speaking on stage on Friday. Most people would cancel because I could not get myself to stop crying all week. But I was on that stage and I was able to sit there on that stage and tell people, look, the only reason I'm able to be here is because of the community here sitting next to me on this stage. Because those people in that mastermind were able to hold me when I've held them before. And so it's having that community, because I agree with you, Raw. If you can't go to a friend and actually tell them what you're really going through, why are they in your life? It's not a friend, that's an acquaintance. That's a follower on social media. Like that's not
No,
someone
fact.
that should deserve that level of investment of your time, because we should be able to. I even feel like I could call you, Raw, with my struggles, and I could just sit and talk, because that is what we need in our life, is people who care. And those people who care are going to want to hear what you're going through more than anything else. Yes, they want to celebrate your wins with you, but they want to be there on the hard days.
I'll literally hit people up and say, how are you? I'm good. Cool. So how are you?
How are you really?
You know what I mean? Then people really be like, what do you mean by that? I just said I'm good. Nah, how are you? Like, how's your
Yes.
mentals? How's your heart feeling? Like, are you okay? Do you got something you need to talk about? Is anything going on in your life? Then motherfuckers be like, oh, well, I didn't think you meant all that. Why the fuck would I ask you how are you if I wasn't thinking about none of these type of things? I think so many people get so used to not sharing any emotions or feelings or just talking that when somebody asks them a question, it's like, oh, they don't really give a fuck. They don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, why do you have those type of people around you? I think the more people get to know me, they start to realize when I text them that question, they'll actually answer it. Even Easy. In the beginning, Easy used to be like, oh, I'm good. Now I text him, I might get a whole fucking thesaurus back from him because now
Yeah.
you understand I'm actually asking you about you at this moment.
Yeah.
For
That's
sure.
funny. I had someone ask me, how are you doing? And not what you would say from stage, but what you would think about yourself when you're sitting in the shower. And I was like, oh, what a great way to phrase that. Because it is
Wow.
when we're in the shower with ourselves, our thoughts are very different than when we're presenting in front of
Way
an
different.
audience.
I never
And
thought
I was
about
like,
that.
dude, this is how I really am. And I was like, just let it out. And it's so good to be able to have that space. So I'm glad that Easy you have Raw and Raw you have Easy, because that's the community. Because community is so critical. We think when we're in time of struggle that we need to isolate ourselves. It's natural. It's almost like a wounded animal wants to just go into a cave. It wants to isolate itself. But we have learned over years and years and years, there's, if you need the research, it's out there. But really, look around. If you go out with friends, doesn't have to involve drinking and partying and doing crazy things. If you just go and have conversation with friends, you are going to come back and be like, oh man, I feel better. Like that next day, you're going to say good morning because you're going to feel like, yeah, today's a good day. Find your people. And I love that you guys have this on Saturday nights and being able to talk about things like this and dive into these ideas. These are your people. This is what you need, is more people who are curious and open-minded, because that's really what's going to make the difference. I know that when I struggle, when I'm in those moments of rage or anger or frustration, where it's just boiling in me and I need to recenter myself, I take all of that rage and I think about roots forming from the bottom of my feet into the ground, and I push all of that energy down. And I just think about pushing it through my feet and into the ground. And then I stop and take a deep breath. And I start to breathe curiosity up into my body. And I just imagine curiosity coming up. And I just imagine my head like a hot air balloon getting really big and opening up. And when you can make that switch where you take all that energy out and you bring curiosity in, curiosity is like, well, what if they didn't mean that? What if I had what if and it allows you to go the positive end of what if, because you've
Would
probably,
that be like a mindfulness technique?
100%. Yes. Because, like, I've heard some people tell you to avoid the what if question because most people spiral down. Like, oh my God, what if I lose the job? And what if I lose the money? And what if I lose the family? I love the what if question because I just go the opposite direction. I'll spiral up. What if I get a new client? What if that makes space for this? What if I can only work 2 days a week? And it's like, there's a difference. Am I sitting in fear? Which is what that anger and that rage and that frustration is, just me fearful? Or am I coming from love? And that's what curiosity is that, man, at the end of the day, even if this person said something mean, harmed me, whatever, I still have love for them. They're still human on this planet. And I believe that the four of you in the room are capable of loving someone, even if they've harmed you, right? Because they're humans. They deserve it. We all make mistakes. We all still deserve to be loved. And if you can still come from a place of love and shift into curiosity, like what could they possibly have been experiencing over the last week or month that might have put them in a position to then react like this? Because people don't just react for no reason. Reactions that are like super high spikes, like things that maybe have happened many times before, but this time like gets an extreme response. That is baggage. That is like a big label baggage, which just means they have a past wound that still hasn't healed yet. So it's like, just know that that's not you. It's like you should celebrate when that stuff happens, but I celebrate it because I'm the type of person to go, yes, baggage. I can work on that. It's another layer of my onion I can peel off. That's another part of me I can build expertise around. Most people, they see a trigger and they go, oh, I'm not going to walk in that building again. Oh, I'm not going to talk to that person again. Versus looking at it at a bigger picture and going, why did what he or she said trigger me? And then when you can get to the root of that, then it doesn't matter what people say. They're not going to trigger you anymore because you've healed.
I find it funny that people will literally, even if it's a coworker, they will duck that person forever just because they had a small argument or a petty disagreement. It's like, yo, get over that shit. Keep moving. You know what I mean? You spoke about being an entrepreneur, though. What type of services do you offer?
Yeah. So I help people either learn to communicate better or learn to regulate their emotions. So part of what I get to do is go into companies and help them develop their ability to communicate and read body language to be able to really define what leadership means and how to step into a leadership role, which is a lot of fun because a lot of companies are there's not as much connection. It's very money driven. So I bring them back to the both client experience and employee experience. So it's a lot of fun getting to help in that way. But my heart is truly with the retreats that I get to do with women. So I take women out for 4 to 5 day retreats where we get to let go and clear them of all of their negative energy. So anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. We
Is that what you
relieve.
did recently in Chester?
Yeah, I did. And actually, I was speaking on stage there, but in February in Vegas, we had an event where it was this retreat, and these women got to go out. We got to release all this energy, and then they then have an opportunity to create a future version of themselves, where I have a whole like a bunch of questions that they go through, like who is she 5 years from now? What does she wear? Who she talk to? Where does she hang out? What is she like? What is she, when she walks into a room, she's confident. What is she going to talk about with people? All of these details. And then I have them type in a series of ChatGPT prompts and they put it in and they get the most specific affirmations. They get a breakdown of exactly how to make this 5-year version of them. Like it breaks down the blueprint. What do you need to do each month, each year to get to that? And it's really cool because most people come to find out they're actually not that far away. And it's not going to take them 5 years. In fact, they're probably 5 weeks away from being that person. It's just a few mindset things that they need to change, stories they need to let go of, and some habitual things they need to break. That's it. It's just coming up from a new place. And I love it because really what it's doing at a big picture is, like I said earlier, with co-regulation, like calling a friend. Think about it this way, is if I can help the CEO of a company regulate their emotions, they can co-regulate the entire company. But if the CEO and the leadership of a company is dysregulated and they're spinning out and they're in chaos, the rest of the company is going to be that way too, because they're going to feed off the leadership. It's the same thing that I kind of feel with our government is ideally I would love to work my way into working with politicians because I feel like if our leadership from the inside out was able to be regulated emotionally, they could stand more grounded in live conversations and not spout out things that are baggage because their baggage is getting lit up. And so by regulating them, we can naturally regulate the rest of the country because it would co-regulate together. So that's big picture vision. I'd love to head that direction with things because I just truly believe that it's simple. If we just breathe more, if we walk around more, if we learn something new, if we love on each other a little bit more, then we as a whole, as humanity, can come together and really win.
So I see a lot of people on a supervisory level and up, right?
Mm-hmm.
They lead so hard with their emotions. And I've explained to people, I don't really, when I'm at work, my emotions don't come to work because I'm at work. So I feel like if I can't be emotionally driven at work because every person is different. So Punk is not going to receive my emotions the same way as Easy, the same way as Hectic, the same way as you. So if I leave my emotions outside of work, then it makes it easier for me to make decisions based off work and not how I feel specifically about a person.
Yes.
So you said you go in and you teach leaders how to use their emotions at work. Is that what you're saying?
It's more of teaching them when to use it, because I agree with you that you can be successful in business in a lot of ways by removing emotion. Yeah, you can get an ROI. Yeah, you can do that thing, but are you actually connecting? Are you creating an emotional experience that the buyer, people buy on emotion. They don't buy on logic. We have to actually feel like this is going to change our lives. So, and I actually challenge you because it requires that emotional side of our brain. Now, I'll use a different label. Creativity is that side of your brain as well, because you do utilize it. What we're actually talking about here is masculine and feminine energy, or yin and yang, however you want to see that. The masculine is the strategy. That's the logic. That's what you're used to working in. You're used to going to work and being like, all right, step 1, step 2, step 3, ABC equals, you're used to that, right? Give you a task list and go. That's very common. And then for a woman like myself, I'm a super creative. When I go to create content, I have to be in my feminine. I need to be free flowing, variety, fun, creative. Like that's going to work better when creating content. But if I'm trying to build the strategy for marketing in my business, being fun and creative is not really necessarily going to help me there. I need strategy, I need logic. So, what I teach is the balance. Because when we go too far into the masculine and the logic, we get too far lost in just the ROI of things, just the what's the return on investment. Well, that is great. Money is great. But having clients who have a phenomenal client experience, have an emotional experience while they're using your product or your service is going to get them to come back over and over and over again. So there is ROI in including the emotions. It's really just deciding that emotions have no place in the decision-making process. That's where people get it wrong, is they want to decide on emotion. Deciding is not an emotional thing, right? If we're buying a product, sure, but in the side of the fence where you're actually running the business, that's not necessarily what we need. So what I do is, like, if you look at my business on two sides, I do one side of the brain, which is the retreats where I help people let go of those emotions so they can empty their cup, right? Because we all have a full cup and we just have the little faucet dripping water into it constantly right now, or we're just constantly just waiting for that next explosion where we're all overflowing. Instead, I just help them pour their cup out so that when things come up, they're like, oh, okay, that's not going to bother me because I don't have any emotional rage left in my body because Jayna helped me let go of that. And then the flip side, I help people with the communication aspect of it, because emotions, that's great if you can regulate them and have emotional mastery. But if you don't know how to communicate with your team, if you don't know how to get them to communicate, if you can't read body language, you're not going to be able to lead the most efficiently and effectively. So there's a combination of both and.
So, in your opinion, with all that's going on right now in the government, would you say that's more of an emotional stand or more of a logical ROI?
I think there's a mix of both happening right now, because I don't think we've ever had someone so strategic in place. Now, I'm trying to pick my words wisely because I don't really land anywhere on the fence with all the stuff that's happening right now. What I see is a man who he wrote the book The Art of the Deal. So he obviously thinks 24 steps ahead of everything he does. And so I'm trying to understand there is a lot of logic. There's also a lot of emotion, because when we see them at a pedestal speaking and they have someone ask a question and they have a little snippy response, that's emotional. How they're doing certain things is emotional. The fact that they're making cuts so big without doing more research is emotional. So that's happening. What I would love to see, and I think the shift that would really be helpful to our leadership, is that keep the emotion, but don't have it be reactive emotion, right? Because we want people to have emotion on the love side of the spectrum, just not the fear side of the spectrum. So what it is say they were to work with me, they'd get the opportunity to release all the negative emotions, the anger, the sadness, hurt, fear, guilt, shame. That leaves room for, when they are emotional, it's more joy, it's more compassion, it's more love, it's more safety. It's because they have capacity for that, Because right now, when you have a full emotional cup full of anger and sadness, there's no capacity for joy because you're so blinded by the rest of it. So I think there is a lot happening in government, and there's never an easy answer when we're dealing with billions of people and circumstances that are all across the board. But what I think that we can all agree on is if we had people who were very grounded and level-headed, who saw it from a place of what's best for the people, not what's best for my pocketbook, I think that that would be a better foundation to build on. And I'm hoping that we're heading in that direction, and it might take another 4 years to get through. What I like to tell people is we have to remember that to be able to like, if you have a broken arm and it heals back crooked, which is what we have as a government who has been broken for a long time and has healed back to what it is, it's crooked. We have to break the arm again to be able to reset it and let the bone heal properly. So what we're experiencing in the world right now is we just broke the arm, and we just have to go through the process of resetting it and healing it together. And then we'll be stronger and it will be better in the future. But if we were to expect that the change that we were looking for to happen in a month or a week, we were delusional because it's going to take a few years to like settle some things. And, you know, I always like to believe the best. I'm an optimist. I like to think that they're doing it from a place of they really want to help. It's just hard to see that when there's so much baggage on every side of the fence. And I think that baggage is something that everybody has a problem with, which is why I do the work I do. Because if I can one by one help people with baggage, then it impacts everybody. Because the trickle down effect is real. If I can help a leader let go of their baggage and be less reactive, every employee, every family member, every friend, every person that hears them speak on a stage will be impacted by their shift. And so that's, I think, the most important thing right now is just helping people be less reactive, have less baggage, love on people more, you know, more compassion, more openness to like, I picked someone up from a doctor's appointment the other day and for 2 seconds parked my car illegally. And like there were a bunch of cars parked and I stopped and I got out, helped him in the car. I drove around a corner and someone else did the same thing and he was getting upset. And I was laughing because I'm like, no. Give the grace you'd like to receive. I just did the same thing to put you in my car. I'm not going to get mad at this woman for doing the same thing for someone else. I'm just going to be very patient and safely go around her vehicle. And he just sat back and his shoulders dropped and he goes, oh, yeah. Give the grace you'd like to receive. Everybody, right?
So Jayna,
So, go ahead.
I'm kind of an empath where when people share things, hard things, heavy things, pause, I like feel their emotion and like I can empathize with them, but I'm not really good at responding. So if somebody's like, I'm going through a really tough time, I just lost a family member, they're crying, they're upset. I sit quietly and listen, but I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And I struggle with that. So what would you do in that situation?
Keep doing what you're doing, easy. Take on the struggle. Allow yourself to internally struggle because that's exactly what people need in those moments. They don't need solutions. They don't need you to tell them what's right, what's wrong. Just say, that sucks. And sit with them and let them empty out and say, is there anything else you want to say? That sucks. Is there anything else? Tell me more. Just listen, because that's all they need. It's like, it's us from the perspective of you feel their hurt. I'm an empath too. You want to help them be less hurting. Like you want to like take that pain away. But you sitting there in the discomfort, listening to them open up is taking the pain away. You don't think it is, but it is. Because I tell you, they're going to get off that phone call and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. Because you're sharing that burden. So I'm not going to give you any corrections because you're doing exactly that. Like just sit with them, tell them this sucks. Keep going.
All right.
As men, I'm gonna ask you a question. I feel like it's gonna help a lot of women on the planet, right? Okay. I feel like that's where we need to go at this point, right? So, as men, at times, We want to tell y'all to shut the fuck up. We really do. Because we don't
I
want to hear
believe
that shit. Yeah, we don't want to hear that shit at this moment. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't had a shitty day. My wind down time is me watching the game. I don't give a fuck about that bitch at work. Shut the fuck up. But instead, as men, we don't say shut the fuck up. What we do is we just sit there. We probably won't say nothing. And every now and then we're going to hit you with the, oh shit. Damn, oh really? Oh, fuck that bitch. Something like that. Because we really not listening, but we don't want you to know that. So, what advice would you have for either? No, fuck that. What advice would you have for both sides? For the men that want to say shut the fuck up, and for the women who don't realize they probably should just shut the fuck up at this moment.
Okay. Cool. So I'll start with the women. First is find a girlfriend. Because if you can feel the energy of your partner, because here's the thing, I'm going to actually give you a real good tip that's going to help relationships is when a woman dumps on her man, and there's a difference between some men love that because they feel like they get to be the safe space for their woman. They like that. They have the capacity for it. But I hear you, Raw. Some days.
Cool. I don't mind doing it, just not all the motherfucking time.
Right. Some days you're like, not fucking today. So those are the days where, just like in the bedroom, come up with a safe word. You come up with a safe word that lets her know, not tonight, babe. Go talk to your girlfriends about this, right? So whether it's pineapple or window frame or like whatever, yes, find something. But so have something that you can communicate to her to let her know she needs to go to her girlfriends. That's step one. The next thing that I want to talk about is men. If you tell yourself in that moment that this is going to lead to you getting laid, which this is 95% true, allow yourself to just listen. Because that is foreplay for her.
Yeah. We know what's coming next. So sometimes, a lot of times we do shut the fuck because like, all right, she gonna vent.
She wants to get it out, and it's going to make her feel like she's safe and protected, that she can actually pour into someone emotionally. She gets to connect.
We wait till the game go on,
that's going to lead to her being excited about other things in the future. Because look, if my partner comes to me and says, hey, can we do this? Like, and he's really turned on, he's in the moment. And I think back and go, that fucker didn't listen to me. He told me to go talk to my girlfriend. No, it's probably going to be a no. But if I sit here and go, you know what? Yeah, last 3 or 4 times, he's been really supportive. Oh, man, I love him. Like, it's going to leave such a good feeling. So I'd say it really does set you up for more success in the long run if you do just listen. And if you don't have those days where you can listen, just tell her to go find girlfriends. Like, we should have girlfriends to listen, because if we dump too much on our men, it can be a turnoff, because now you're feeling like there's this like, it doesn't feel like a sexy partner anymore. It feels like someone's just dumping, and it's like, it just changes the dynamic. So we got to have balance when it comes to, I want to share certain things with my partner because I want them to know who I am and be with me on this journey in life. And I also know that sometimes oversharing puts it to where our relationship isn't as intimate anymore. It's now more like it's like having roommates. They just dump on you and then go off to their bedroom and that's it. And it's like, we don't want that. We want intimacy. So there's that balance.
Yeah. No, I had someone who was trauma dumping the fuck out of me. And I had to tell her, like, if you want me to sit here and listen to this, go ahead and lay on this couch and I'm gonna charge you $1.50 an hour, and we can go ahead and knock this shit out. I'm not your therapist.
Yes. Yes. You just tell her to grab her vibrator. It's going to work better than any therapist or any sob session will. It'll flip her script.
Yeah. Do you? So I'm noticing, which to me, I think is kind of crazy. So I'm noticing everybody's pushing therapy over everything now. So everything is go seek psychiatry. It don't matter what you're going through. Go seek a shrink. Go seek a shrink. It's like nobody wants to talk to anybody. It's automatically push. Go sit on somebody's couch.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like people need to learn how to deal with themselves at some point, or therapy is basically the kind of the best way of dealing with things.
Such a great conversation. This is a big conversation happening right now because I'm just outside the realm of therapy, and people ask me all the time, why didn't you go get a license as a therapist? I'm like, well, because you have to stay within a specific box. Otherwise you lose your license. And I don't like to play in that box because therapy has its place. I truly believe there's some people with some massive traumas that need what therapy has to offer. Some
Mhm.
people who have never had any exposure to personal development or inner work, they need that. They need that foundational safe place to go. So they don't dump on their partner, so they don't dump on their girlfriend, so they don't like a trauma dump on people. That's where that's good for. Where I feel like therapy falls short is when it goes from something that was a short term, I really need this, to a long term breadcrumbing. You were talking about this earlier in our conversation, is
Mhm.
that you hate when people breadcrumb. And I think that's exactly what therapy becomes. It's a slippery slope where they go, all right, you unpack all your stuff, and they're like, all right, 60 minutes is up. And you got to gather all your trauma and you got to walk out into the world and you're like feeling vulnerable and you're like, what do I do with this? And then they're like, all right, come back next week or next month. And it's just again and again, same thing. They unpack it and they never do anything with it. And this is what frustrated me. So I didn't go that route. So instead, I really like the therapy. I call it therapy. It's really not. It's like it's another modality or another type of therapy. And so I actually use something. It's a little more like hypnosis because it speaks directly with the subconscious mind. Because I don't want to sit and just ask someone over and over and over again to keep talking about their trauma, keep talking about the negativity. Ra, you were talking so poignantly earlier that our words have power. And if all we do is keep talking about the past bad shit that kept happening to us, what do you think that it's going to do? It's going to continue to tell that story going forward. So I only ever have my clients talk about it enough that they get lit up by it. I need to see them sad. I need to see them angry. I need to see them feeling the emotion. And then once I've got that, I don't need to hear anymore because it's not for me. It's just to get them lit up. Then we actually go through the change work. It's actually taking them through the mental processes of looking at the situation, taking the learning lesson, and letting go of the emotion. Because the emotion that we have around a past situation is just there like a little pin saying, this is important. There's something here to learn, but you haven't learned it yet. So I'm going to put a pin right here. So you're just going to keep holding this sadness until you go back and look at that again and heal it. So I help people within a safe space go back through old experiences to be able to process that, to find the lesson that then they can take the lesson and let go of the emotion. And that's the process. So therapy isn't going to do that for you. Therapy is just going to open up the can over and over. And I've had people tell me, Jayna, I've gone to therapy for 10 years. How are you telling me that what you're going to do with me is going to be any different than that? And I tell them, well, because I do basically 10 years of therapy in 10 hours, because my first session with a one-on-one client is 12 hours with me.
Damn.
Because I don't want to unpack everything and send you back out into the world. I want to unpack everything, sort it all with you. Say, we're going to keep these lessons because these are really good. Well, these are some shitty experiences that we don't need these stories anymore. Let's throw those out. Let's organize these into color coordinated. And then we go, okay, who do you want to become? And we build this compelling future that they get to wake up every single day excited about who they are in life. That's how you get radical change. Is you take one day to pause everything, remove yourself from your current experience and say, this is fucked up. I don't want this anymore. Okay, cool. I'm going to sit down with this person, be really vulnerable and talk about, because people tend to remember a lot in my sessions. And what I mean is they don't remember that. If you just talk in conversation, they don't remember they experienced that at 4 or 5. But they'll talk to me in the middle of this experience and they go, oh, I totally forgot that at 4, so-and-so yelled at me in this way. And ever since then, I've never done that again. And now I've always been small and shy and held back on my voice and not said what I want. And it all started at that experience. So if I can get them to go back and realize there was actually nothing wrong with them, and you can release that fear, then now they can speak up for themselves and their business explodes. Their relationships get better. They show up in their health. They show up in their family. They show up with their friends because they're not held back by the old stories. So I think therapy has its place for those who have gone through a recent highly traumatic experience and you need the foundation. But for those who have gone through years of processing and still have something that they feel is holding them back, there are other modalities that I think are just there to actually help you with the change. And if not me, there are plenty of practitioners out there that can help walk you through actual change.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like therapy is like medicine. They just pushing that shit to everybody to try to get a few bucks, and that's just it. But I know we keeping you up past your bedtime, and we only had you for a little while. But I got one last question for you before we let you go.
Yes.
And I think this is something that people might need to kind of understand, maybe. Um, does your age play a factor in your emotions? Because I know a lot of times you could say, oh, a person is 50, but they ain't really 50. Or you could say a person is 25, but they act like they 50. You know what I mean? So does your age play a factor in how your emotions play out or how you deal with emotion?
That's such a great question. I've never been asked that question before. So, really, really great question. So, without going too far down the rabbit hole of like how our brains develop, right? So, obviously, emotions do change through like our toddler years and into teens. Part of that is because portions of your brain don't fully develop till you're 25. Right. There is part of our frontal lobes don't fully develop till over 25. And what that is our risk taking abilities. So we can't actually calculate the risk of something until we're 25, which is crazy that they let us drink at 21. So, and all this to say, yes, there is that aspect. So there is some there. And younger people don't have enough experience with emotional control. How do you know how to control rage until you experience rage a handful of times? The first couple times, you're just trying to figure out what the brain chemistry is that's happening. But I think where you're going, Raw, is that more adults, you're talking more of like once you're into the 50s, like into these older years, like why is it some people have emotional control and other people don't? And I think there are a couple different reasons. One is that some people just don't try because some people are truly convinced that learning stops once you graduate high school, college, fill in the blank. Some people never learn beyond that. And they just think life is. They don't realize that we are malleable, that we are humans and we're adaptable and we can grow, and that emotions are actually something that you can control, right? Emotions are just chemical responses in the brain. They're only releasing for about 6 to 7, maybe 9 seconds tops. And if you can make it past 90 seconds, you'll ride out the whole emotion. So just ride out the rage for 90 seconds and you should be good. But here's the real kicker is I think what you're talking about, like people when they're 50, if they have a higher likelihood of having experienced something traumatic in their life by that point. And when our brain experiences trauma, the two hemispheres left and right split, and then they're no longer able to communicate, which is kind of what I was describing earlier when you experience something that heightens your emotions to where you're only using the emotional side of the brain and the logical side kind of shuts down. That's the splitting process where they can't talk to each other. So you can't think logically and be highly emotional at the same time. It's either rage or logic, right? So if that happens to someone at a young age or at any point in their life, and they don't go to a therapist or they don't seek out someone like myself to help them process and heal that, the brain will stay disconnected. And so what that means is that if they're like yourself and they just use strictly logic at work, then they're going to be non-emotional. They're going to not be able to tap in, which means maybe they don't get angry, but they also don't feel good. They don't experience the joys of life. Like it's hard for them to experience the simple pleasures. And then there are people who, on the flip side of the fence, they have also experienced trauma, but instead of living on the logical side of the brain, they have learned helplessness. So they have essentially learned strategies to live on the emotional side of the brain. And so you're talking about a 50-year-old who you pull in front of them in the highway, even though there was room, even though it was safe, and they go into road rage because it's just, they click into the emotional side of the brain and they can't think logically. And so we have to give people grace because people are experiencing trauma left and right. And I say trauma, and I need you to understand the best definition for trauma anything that you experience that changes your behavior permanently. So you're a woman who goes running at night, you have a guy stalk you, whatever, you never run at night again, only on treadmills indoors. That's trauma. You changed your behavior. But I will tell you, the greatest thing you will ever know is that we are humans and we can adapt and we can grow. And you can choose to redefine any situation in your life and go back to old behaviors. So to me, trauma does not exist because you can always choose to go back and train your brain. But if someone is in a position to where they have experienced something so horrific that they don't do the old behaviors, that is what we would call trauma. So
you definitely dropped a lot of bombs, and I hope people actually paid attention and learned some stuff for sure. Because as we get older, we start figuring out we don't need to learn some shit.
yeah,
You actually just taught me some shit about myself.
I'm glad.
It is what it is. We ain't gonna get into that because I know Hectic, he ready to start talking shit.
I know
it is what it is.
Jayna, I would like to say that you have accomplished two things tonight that none of us have been able to accomplish. The first is figuring out why Raw is the way he is. And the second is this is the longest period of time this man has gone without using the word pause.
He used it twice tonight. I counted.
It is what it is. Listen, surprisingly, nobody said a lot of pause-worthy shit. And I can't pause her if she said a few things that if you would have said it, I would have said pause. She definitely did. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? She talked about playing inside the box and all that. I could have said some shit, but I didn't.
Yeah, I missed that one. Such a lost opportunity.
Oh, trust me, I hear everything. I heard it all. It is what it is. But I definitely appreciate you showing up and staying up past your bedtime for you to drop these bombs. And I hope people actually listened and paid attention. This episode right here is kind of like far from what we typically do. Because we talk a whole lot of shit, but we still try to like give people some jewels, hence why we are the enlightened idiots. But at the same time, this is kind of like far left when it comes to like emotions and feelings. Because in the Black community, we are taught that we aren't supposed to show feelings. We aren't supposed to show emotions. And a lot of times that's what makes us actually angry. And a lot of people don't know that. Also, you said something that was real serious. A lot of people look at the younger generation and they're like, oh, these little motherfuckers, they just angry and they just this, they just that, but they not processing shit the way that you processing it at 40. They ain't been through nothing. They don't know what it's like. Of course, they angry because they got reasons to be angry. They just don't know why or how to deal with it. You was angry when you was 19. So how the hell you mad at them for being 19 and being angry? It is what the fuck it is. Life goes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know you gotta get out of here. So before you go, I want you to read. Let everybody know who you are, what you got going on, and how can they reach out to you for a long ass 12-hour first session and then go from there.
I got something better for you. So, reminder, I'm Jayna Swan. I'm really so honored to have been here. This is a great conversation. And if you guys want to learn any more about me, you can hang out with me on Instagram. My name, Jayna.Swan, is where you'll find me there. If you like to listen to podcasts, we did talk about my podcast a couple times. So that again is A Millennial's Guide to Healthy Emotional Regulation in Life and Business. And the final thing I just want to give you guys is on the App Store, if you search Healthy Emotional Regulation, you will find an app. And that's my app. And feel free to go use it. There are guided meditations, journal prompts, there's movement sessions. There's all sorts of stuff there to help you process and regulate your emotions. And it's a free app. It used to be paid. And I was like, you know what? No, people need access to this. So it is a completely free app. Feel free to use it. And if you have Android, then you're going to have to message me on Instagram and I'll directly send you a link to be able to get that.
Okay. Can you definitely text me that name so I can
100%
for sure? Because I ain't going to remember. I just started drinking. It is what it is.
I got you.
But we appreciate you for being here and dropping these bombs. Anybody else got anything they want to say before she gets out of here?
Thank you for coming. I learned a lot.
Thank you, Pumpkin.
Now, see, that was a moment where she could have said pause to Pumpkin. See what I'm saying?
What?
You see, I keep telling y'all, I hear everything. It is what it is. But we're gonna take our commercial break. Miss Jayna about to dip set on us, and we will be right back.
She don't admit she got a problem, she can't fix it, she a product of these niggas. Why you think she so explicit? Why you think she acting different? Only bitch she got a son, she ain't trying to have no nigga. Gon' show her ass for the summer, she done had a long winter. She been falling for a nigga, now she sprung up off them figures. She been trying to figure out why bitches craving her position. Back to back, how she been hustling, she trying to change traditions. If you attractive, she might want you, but the money make a difference. She just had to learn a lesson, so she picking different niggas. See, the formula is simple, get the money, niggas follow. Once they see you got that bread, they gon' perform like it's Apollo. Watch your back and watch your plate, these niggas always wanna swallow. Screaming loyalty and trust like it's some shit that they could borrow. She smoke pounds of gas to fill a space that's always gonna be hollow. Run it up and flex on bitches, that's her motherfucking motto.
Oh shit. We back. We back, god damn it.
You trying to download the app?
No, not yet, but I will be soon. But speaking of,
yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey,
Okay.
yeah, hey.
All you hip hop junkies, you think you know hip hop? Well, tell me what happened today in 2005. Better yet, tell me what happened today in 1989. We know you don't know. That's why Easy about to break this day down in hip hop for you.
Yo. Y'all already know what time it is. It's 4/19/2025. And 15 years ago today, Guru, one half of Gangstar, passed away. We lost a legend. We lost a scholar. We lost a
it's
gentleman.
been that fucking long?
Yeah. Rest
Holy
in peace, Guru.
shit.
15 years. Like, man, it seemed like yesterday, though. It still feel like
facts,
it just
like,
happened. So it's crazy. 2005, 20 years ago, Mike Jones, Mike Jones dropped his debut album, Who Is Mike Jones, with the hit single Still Tipping. All my Texas partners out there, players, y'all know what time it is. Shout out Mike Jones. I don't know what he's doing now. But
word on the street is everyone hated that beat. No one wanted to rap on that beat.
Man, that's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
That beat was fire.
Yeah.
I wasn't that far. It was okay.
Like, when I first heard that beat, I wanted to rap on it. We used to freestyle.
Yeah, but they said no one that was on that track liked that beat at all.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. It just look, all it takes is the right artist to get the beat. All it takes. Speaking of beats and artists, 1994, Nas dropped a masterpiece, his debut Illmatic. And that brings a question. In y'all's opinion, is Illmatic the prototype for a perfect hip hop album? Why or why not?
Ooh.
And
That's a
if
hell of a
not, what
question,
is?
son.
If you say
That's
no,
a hell of a question, son.
what would you say is a prototype for a perfect album? And if viewers, y'all go ahead and jump in them comments with your answer too, because I want to know what people thinking.
That's a hell of a question, son. I think I might have to say yeah. I think I might, mainly because that album played out almost like a story.
Mhm.
It each song, every song on there, damn near was an anthem. If you really think about it, anthem for different things, different
Different
feelings,
situations.
emotions,
Yeah.
situations. You know what I mean? Lyrically, nothing was skip worthy
Mm-mm.
on the whole fucking album. Not one song was skip worthy. I never thought about it like that. That's crazy. And that's still my second favorite album of his too.
What's your favorite album of his?
Lost Tapes.
Okay. Okay. Hector, what you think?
I really don't. I don't know. I mean,
I figured that's what you was gonna say.
uh, why you thought I was gonna say that?
Just cause you not you don't seem like the biggest Nas fan to me.
I'm not. I mean, I've seen him in concert. You know what I mean? I respect his craft. Actually, I like the older Nas, like the recent stuff that he's put out.
Mm,
I and I'm not gonna shit on Illmatic because there's I mean there's fire on the album. It's just at that time, me going back then, I
mm.
wasn't listening to Nas like that.
See,
No.
at that time, I was all East Coast hip hop only. So that's all I kind of knew. I ain't gonna say only, but that's all I like really listened to. I listened to some South shit, some East, I mean West Coast,
No,
little
I
a
was
small smidge of the Midwest at that time, but it was all East Coast.
no, I was definitely New York at that time. But Nas wasn't in my bag like that. I was listening to other artists. You
Mm,
know, Wu definitely was one of my top go tos at that time. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So
See, I heard I am prior to hearing, or not I am, it was written prior to
mhm,
hearing Illmatic.
Oh wow.
So
mhm.
I was an album late to the Nas fanhood.
Okay,
But
so my question to you, which is a better album? Because that's another unskippable
so
album, in my opinion.
if you would have asked me, if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have said that it was written was Nas's best album. But I listened to the two albums side by side, and the reason I would switch them
At
is
the same time?
because no, like just I listened to one and the other, but like listening to compare the two.
Okay.
I switched them because I felt like Illmatic was the birth of Nas, was telling the
Mhm.
story of who he is and why he is who he is. It was written was a continuation of that story. Like Illmatic ended with to be continued, and it was written was the sequel to Illmatic.
Yeah. And Illmatic, he wasn't so scientific and
Was
deep
Nasty
thought.
Nas still?
He
Yeah.
just was talking his shit at that time.
He was telling the
Mhm,
stories, and he was like, "This is why I'm Nasty Nas, motherfuckers." Like
mhm, yeah, yeah.
y'all gonna know who Nasty Nas is, but he was also like, "This is also Queensbridge." Like
Mhm.
so, Punkin, what you think?
Oh, my bad. I was just gonna. Um, I don't really know a bunch of songs, if I do know any off of that album. But my favorite album, no skips type shit. It would be an R&B album, but if I had to pick a hip hop one, it'd be probably I think it's called Two Cups by Young Pappy.
Okay,
And he from the city, he from Chicago. He ain't alive no more, but I think that's what it's called, and that'll be my favorite.
okay,
No skip.
New York State of Mind is one of my favorite ones off of the Illmatic album. It was something about that bluesy flow and the beat and just how his cadence was that he was just in a swing of things at that. So that's one of my favorite Nas songs and on that album. But the King Disease, that whole trilogy, that's when I was really like, when he dropped that, I was like, all right, I'm listening.
I think that a lot of people kind of, which is weird to me. A lot of people was kind of introduced or reintroduced to Nas, if you will, with the King's Disease albums.
Okay.
So
I mean, a lot of the younger generation definitely was introduced to him with the King's Disease, but it's some old heads that wasn't into hip hop until lately.
Yeah,
which I find crazy. Like, I know us, our age, we are the hip hop generation, but it's people in their 50s and 60s that didn't start listening to hip hop until 2010, 2015. And I'm like, I'm baffled. Like, how you just
that's
how
a
you
fact.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when their generation were the ones, like when we were kids, their generation was the rappers.
Wow.
Like, how you LL's age and ain't never listened to LL?
Okay.
It's a hell of a fucking question. It's a hell of a fucking question, man. Real shit.
What the fuck?
Pumpkin.
Hmm.
1-on-1. Mano y mano. What's the biggest animal you think you could fight and whoop their ass?
Oh shit. Animal, any animal? I fuck around, take down an eagle or something. Like
You know, an eagle big as fuck.
Yeah, them niggas vicious as shit.
Yo.
Hey, call your fucking eyes out.
You braver than a motherfucker.
I don't know what.
I'm ready to hear crocodile. She said eagle.
I take down.
listen.
I ain't take down no crocodile. I fuck with sharks. I ain't take down no shark. I'll take down an eagle. Man.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. You brave as shit for that one.
They're gonna pick you up and drop you.
I do an eagle dirty. Y'all tripping.
Okay. Listen.
Pumpkin
Just
said,
let me watch.
Pumpkin said to her, an eagle is a chicken
Dearly
hawk.
deported.
Yeah.
Pumpkin with the
that
good
bitch.
motherfucker.
She called you the chump of the sky.
Hectic, what say you?
I don't know. I got a squirrel. I could definitely kick a squirrel's ass.
You fucking bitch.
What?
This motherfucker gonna say a squirrel.
Well, I'll definitely kick a squirrel's ass. Yeah.
That wasn't the most bitchest answer I ever heard in my fucking life.
Whatever.
This nigga 6 foot a whole lot talking about he want to fight a squirrel.
Listen. I don't get in any situation I can't get out of. So
say less, my nigga.
Yeah.
Say less. Easy.
So I'm just go ahead and go off on one of my easy tangents for hectic's sake. I paid attention in science class, motherfuckers. So these animals, I'm not fucking with them. These bitches strong as shit.
Oh, at all.
So when these motherfuckers talking about a fucking deer has a strength of 30 men, if I got jumped by 30 motherfuckers, I'm dead in the water. So I'm probably
running.
I'm probably like, in terms of holding my own but not whooping its ass, I'll box with a kangaroo.
You a goddamn lie.
No, I ain't saying.
You know what?
Listen.
I knew you're a stupid ass was gonna say kangaroo.
Oh, look.
I knew you were gonna say a kangaroo. Something told me this motherfucker's gonna say a kangaroo.
Hectic, you gotta listen.
On God's green earth.
You gotta listen to what I said, Hectic. I said I'm not gonna whoop his ass. I will box with it, meaning I'll defend myself against the kangaroo.
No, you might as well go ahead and put yourself in the ball.
It's a lot of videos out there right now. Motherfuckers think, oh, I could take a kangaroo, and that kangaroo
do this shit. He does this shit.
I'm not saying I could take
real quick. Like, let's go.
I'm not saying I could take a kangaroo. I'm saying if me and a kangaroo got into a one-on-one boxing match, I will defend myself and try to get out of there. He might whoop my ass, but I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna get away.
All right.
I'm gonna get the fuck away.
Since we on the topic of fighting, how about this then, Easy? Who is one celebrity that you feel like you could take the motherfuckers out and take everything they got?
Oh, nigga, Kevin Hart easily.
Whoa.
Oh, beat
Why
the
would you
absolute
say
shit.
The nigga ain't even think about that shit.
Look, this is something I've been thinking about. If
You've
I
been
ever,
thinking about this shit for a long time, my nigga.
ever since Laugh at My Pain, I've been like, this nigga, if I ever had to whoop Kevin Hart's ass, it would be no problem. And then when that whole
Kev do to
shit,
you, cuz?
Kev ain't do
Why?
shit. I'm just saying,
angry.
he the easiest little motherfucker to beat up.
Oh,
He
you
already a little bitch. He's scary as shit. I know he from Philly, but that nigga, he was from the other side of Philly. He went from the hood side of Philly.
He actually he's from the deepest part of the hood, if you want to be
But
technical.
I will beat the shit out of Kevin Hart and take all his money, Laugh Out Loud Radio, all of that shit. Heart to Heart podcast.
You're gonna make his heart beat, all that, taking
Nah.
his own production.
No, I'll take Heartbeat Productions. I will whoop
Why
Kevin's
would you
ass.
do that? Why you tweaking?
I'm
Why
not.
would you do
I'm
that?
just saying the nigga is 5'3". He bought 112 pounds. I'm 6'1", 240. I will
But
kick Kevin in his fucking throat.
Why you been thinking about this?
Because it's an easy matchup. I would say some shit like I could probably fuck up Chris Rock. I could probably fuck up Chris Rock too, right? It's some
What's another comedian? You don't like funny? Like
I just feel like comedians is bitch ass niggas.
How dare you make me laugh?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I'm gonna fight somebody for their money, I gotta fight somebody I can beat. These rappers will shoot me, so they gotta, actors. Some of them motherfuckers in these action movies, I don't know. Like I would say Denzel, but that's my boy though, so I ain't gonna fight Denzel. Samuel Jackson could probably get the hands.
You get a whole
though.
lot more money fighting Denzel than you will Kevin Hart, though.
Samuel L. gonna hit your ass with a trash can.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, Samuel probably got a shank on him. Samuel got a shank.
And cuss you out royally.
Yeah. Samuel got that old school tendencies. He's definitely gonna cut you.
He got a pocket knife.
He used to be a crackhead. It's still in him.
Yeah. Look, he got that pocket knife. Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Nope. But yeah, it beat Kevin Hart. I whoop Kevin's ass.
This nigga, fighter. Nigga, you better not be funny. He ready to fuck you up.
Oh my God.
You made me chuckle.
And hold up. He picked all the little niggas. All the little niggas that's comedians. He ain't picked none of the giant comedians.
Nigga, you said I gotta be confident that I could whoop their ass and take their money. And I picked Kevin also.
He did not say you had to.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
All I said was you gotta fight the nigga and take all their money. I ain't say you gotta whoop their ass.
So you ain't gotta win the fight, you just fight them and get their money for fighting.
I'm pretty sure you gotta win to get the money.
Right.
So just roll over and say, "Oh, you punched me in the face. Here, take everything."
It's a guaranteed dub. Kevin Hart short arms ass.
Kevin looked like he could box.
Kevin can't box. Nigga can't reach me. He 5'3". My long ass arms, like nigga step in, you getting punched every fucking time. You get 2 feet away from me, you catching the right hook, nigga.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm mad that you thought this hard for this long before I even asked you this question. Nigga, you didn't even hesitate with your answer, son.
Niggas, listen.
Like you've been waiting for 10 years for somebody to ask you this one fucking question, son.
You heard 1,000 Ways to Die, right?
Yeah.
1,000 Ways to Get Rich. That's on my list. Beat a celebrity ass and take their money. So I had to go easiest fight.
Nigga, that's the hatingest answer I ever heard in my life.
Like I could have said Jay-Z, but
why are you still thinking about Jay-Z?
I mean, Hov probably can squabble. He from the Marcy. I don't know. And Hov kind of a healthy sized person. Pause. Like, you know what I'm saying? I could have said
that was crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I could have said Mayweather, but we all know I'd be stupid as fuck for that one, right? So
I mean, Mayweather like 5'3", 5'4", ain't he?
But the nigga
But-
professional
but that's-
boxer.
Yeah, that's
And
that's the
he
champ.
only what, like a bean 30, bean 40?
Nigga,
I mean, he quicker than easy.
He's still
quicker
a
than me.
boxer.
He been to hit me 3-4 times before I even find him. I'm like,
Oh,
where
yeah.
is this nigga at, man? Like
Yeah.
all that running,
That's just interesting.
and I got hands, but I ain't finna sit here and say I could box with Mayweather. Now I'll say I'll box a kangaroo, but not Mayweather.
Which is
Roger
still
the fuck
crazy.
that. Pumpkin, that one celebrity, you'll put the mitts on and you'll take everything they got.
The mitts on them and take everything they got. It gotta be a female.
I appreciate the fact that you thinking about this now versus you thought about this shit for 5 years. But
7, nigga, 7. Okay.
That's crazy work. Like what? I can't even think all the way. I'm trying to see who is, because you said don't whoop their ass. Just fight them or whoop their ass. Like
I
that's
mean,
what
you're
you
gonna have to
gotta win
put
the
some
fight.
work on them to get all their bread.
say. Okay, let me see.
You gotta win the fight.
Let me see.
I'm gonna
It
give you some
might-
time to go ahead.
It might be Sexy Red because we bought the same size too. I'll fight her and take her money.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
You'll win that one because Sexy was trying to get her homegirls to jump her baby daddy's mom, so we know she ain't got no hands.
Yeah.
You'll whoop her ass.
I know.
I know. she said that real
Because
cool.
you
I
asked
know.
me the question, I answered it. Okay. Next.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hector gonna be
Roger
like
that.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Hector gonna say like fucking what's his name? Pimpin' nigga. What's the nigga name? Cat Williams. He gonna say some shit like that. Who you gonna say, Hector?
Ray Liotta.
That nigga dead, son.
Cool.
How you gonna fight a dead? You gonna go fight the nigga?
Yo, we gonna dig him up and whoop his ass.
Yeah, I can't stand Ray Liotta.
Why is it you hate Ray Liotta so bad? I don't think I've ever asked you that. What the fuck did Ray
You
do to
have. I just
did?
don't like him. You did.
Why?
Every time I bring up Ray Liotta, you ask me the same question.
I don't remember that.
What did Ray Liotta
'Cause
do?
I've never heard nobody say they hate Ray Liotta.
Yeah, I can't
This
stand that
much.
motherfucker. Yeah, I can't stand him.
What did he
His
do?
movies, everything sucks. Can't stand him. He's like the Birdman of movies.
Whoa,
The movie
whoa,
be
whoa.
fired,
Wow.
and then as soon as he
Whoa.
gets on there,
Goodfellas
fuck
is a
the whole
fucking
movie up.
classic. Son. Don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
I ain't
couldn't
never
do without him.
seen a movie with Ray Liotta in it that I didn't like.
That's
Facts.
cool. That's cool.
The journey got the latest. What is it called? 1944 or 19 something, some shit like that. I don't know.
I
The
ain't
joint they
watch
got
it.
with the joint with
Tyrese.
Tyrese. It's actually pretty good too.
Yeah, I ain't watch it.
Just no love for that nigga at all.
Oh, when he died, not a tear.
I mean, I've never cried for one celebrity either, so I can't be mad at
Yeah,
that.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I cried for Aaliyah.
So I remember I was upset. No. I remember I was upset the day Aaliyah died, but not for the same reason you was upset. So I was in boot camp, and they woke us up early. And mind you,
Leah died.
in boot camp on Sundays you get to sleep in. It's the only day you get to sleep in. Them motherfuckers woke us up early to tell us that Aaliyah died. I was pissed the fuck off because why you could have waited till I woke the fuck up and told me that shit.
And told me that. Yeah.
The fuck? Why I gotta get up early for you to yell, oh, Aaliyah died, but y'all ain't wake us up early for 9/11?
What kind of shit is that?
Oh, you were in 9/11?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was in boot camp at that time. And they pulled us all to the side. And we watched the shit on TV, on the news, and everybody was like, oh shit. Fuck, we going to war. That's all motherfuckers was thinking. Fuck, I thought I was about to get a sweet ass duty station. Because they told us straight up, most of y'all will be going over there.
Yep.
It is what it is. Ain't no point in thinking otherwise.
Get
90%
ready.
of y'all headed straight towards where shit's popping off at. And sure as shit, I was one of them motherfuckers.
Nigga, the army told me I was going to Germany. As soon as I got
You were
in
in the
base.
army?
Yep.
See, what the fuck have you not done?
Man, I'm telling you, I'm the Black Forrest Gump, dog. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm the Black Forrest Gump. Nigga, when I got to college, right? When I got to college, niggas thought I was 30 because I had done so much shit already. They was like,
Believe it.
I was like, bro, I'm 19 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Alright.
Hectic. Let me ask you a question, right? And this is something that I've been thinking about, right? And I shut the fuck up before you say you always thinking about shit. Cause yeah, motherfucker, I'm always thinking. That's me. I'm an enlightened idiot, god damn it. But every one of us are born with nipples, correct?
Go ahead.
Yes or no? We are all born with nipples, correct?
Scientifically, yes.
It's always gotta be extra. Okay. What is it about a woman's nipple that's X-rated? You in a line of you trying to get out of a field of work where you could probably understand what I'm saying. Because I don't quite understand it. A nipple is a nipple is a nipple.
Because a woman can't. Well, now they can. At one point, a woman couldn't show her whole breast. You know what I mean? Because it was assigned to sexuality.
And
So
this is where I'm getting at. You could show
yeah.
everything, but the nipple has to be hidden.
Now, yes.
Yes.
I think it's all idiotic to be 100% honest. Or you could go ahead and be a trans man, and now your nipple could be out. Yeah.
This is why this shit is confusing even more.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
My feelings about it is oh man. Next question. Ask someone else.
Because what? Answer the question.
What the fuck is you tongue tied for? What's going on here?
No, because like I feel like we had this discussion already. I feel like people are doing too much. And if you're doing too much amongst your friends and your family, that's cool. You do you. But when you go out in public and you're doing too much, in front of kids and shit like that, that's where I have the problem with. You know what I mean? So I know people
So if
gonna
you
be like,
at
I could dress how the
the
fuck I want to
barbecue
dress,
and ain't
and
no
that's like
kids
cool.
there, you can have the titties out. But if y'all go somewhere else, don't have the titties out.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Because you're in the confines of your area. You know what I mean? Like it's like, yeah, do you.
So
But
is that
yeah, I
even with
mean,
like this? Even is that even like with the studs who like, all right, they just titties. It ain't that big of a deal. Because a lot of them they walk around now shirt off because they really feel like they men. So it's like shirt off is nothing type shit.
yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird shit to me all around.
As a woman, how do you feel about that, Parker?
I feel like the difference between men titties and women titties
I ain't said
is
nothing about men titties. I just said nipple. I don't know
okay.
how you got that far.
You know what I'm trying to say. The difference between men nipples and women nipples, I think, is the fact that straight men, of course, or straight and bisexual men, is that they sexualize the goddamn titties. So that's the first difference. If you straight, you bisexual, you finna sexualize some women titties. That's the
I
only
mean,
difference.
as a woman, do you not sexualize a man's chest?
I mean, that's the difference. It's a woman sexualizing a man's shit going on. But if it's a woman titties and you sexualizing a nigga, it's like you sexualizing her. And we already know how that be.
So I think too, to Pumpkin's point, is like it's both sexualized, but it's in a different way. Like it's certain shit that women view as sexy for men, and the male bravado is like we're gonna show that off. So like when motherfuckers got their shirt off, it's like it's okay for me to show off the women like the peacock showing off their feathers.
Mhm.
But for women, like men want that covered up to like I don't want nobody else seeing my wife titties. So
do she show cleavage?
I ain't talking about my wife.
No, I'm saying, do your wife show
Whoa,
cleavage?
easy.
Any?
Nah, she
So
dressed.
all her shirts is up here always.
Yeah, this nigga wear t-shirts all the time.
Damn.
Yeah, she don't dress up like that. Like or she dressed like a middle-aged like woman. Like she dressed how she's supposed. Like well, no, I ain't gonna say how she's supposed to dress. But
Ooh,
she dressed.
pull it back.
She
Back.
dressed.
You
She
about to get
dressed.
yourself in trouble.
She dressed age appropriate. Now when she was young, she might have. I ain't know her when she was in her 20s, so she might have, right? But today she dressed like a middle-aged woman, appropriate for her age, if that makes sense. But like, I don't understand how titties became such a thing in terms of sex.
Always been a thing.
Like I know it always has been, but like I think about like the purpose of titties. It's
To wrap
feed.
around the dick. Yeah, all that.
That's the purpose, but it's not the only purpose.
What I mean? This is why we can't take this Negro
That's not
nowhere.
the purpose, nigga. That's something
He's
you can
proving my
do.
point
Like,
and said he's proving it. Like
I mean, they ain't out here breastfeeding, so you might as well put them titties to good use.
I mean, so
But the
let's be
purpose of
realistic,
titties
right?
is to breastfeed.
Let's be realistic. A man, born a man, can lactate as well.
Yeah.
It's not something that's common, but they can. So I was told, I asked somebody this question before, and they said it's the purely based off the fact that women lactate. And I said, so the men that lactate, do they gotta wear stickums on their titties too?
I don't think that's the difference. I think that's the biological difference. But like, if we talking about sexually,
But
it's because
women sexualize a man's chest as well. That's again when you look at all the reasons.
Okay, so is it the feelings that motherfuckers get when they see titties? Then is that the difference? Because it's the difference.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's everything about this.
It make a nigga dick hard, so it's bad. It make a bitch pussy wet, so it's okay. Like
See, you ain't gonna never see a woman grinding her vagina on a man's chest.
No.
Well,
we're not using that fucking word.
Yeah,
we're
I
not
hate
using that fucking word.
What, vagina?
I hate that word. Yeah,
pussy, y'all. All right.
Yeah,
We ain't
vagina just sound vulgar, man.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna never see no woman rubbing her coochie on a man's chest on a regular
You might as well
basis.
call it a twat then at that point.
But we see dudes.
Wait.
Dudes is always.
I feel like you lying. I feel like there's women that will grind on your motherfucking chest.
Why does that matter? Wait a minute. What is the point?
Like the whole sexualizing thing is like men just see every part of a woman's body as something to fuck. It's like, oh, titties, I'm gonna fuck it. Mouth, I'm gonna fuck it. If the holes in your nose was wide and deep enough, niggas would be fucking.
It would get fucked.
Hey, wait. Amron did say that motherfuckers are doing that.
Oh my!
I thought it was the ear.
He said the nose as well.
Oh shit!
She said people rarely utilize the air. She said all the rest of the holes, there's people out there that use those, but the ear is the least utilized portion of a woman's body that gets used in a sexual manner.
And those
why you want to nut the bitch ear? I don't know.
So she
I don't get that part.
So she can hear you coming.
Ooh, drop them bars.
Nigga hit you up and say, yo, I'm trying to come through and put this joint in your ear. How you feel about that?
Try it. On my mama, we could try it. Let me see some. Let me say, here where you coming from. That's different.
Yo.
I want to see.
I know it's motherfuckers that be like fucking chicks behind the ear and shit. Like, yeah, it's some weird shit.
What the fuck is you getting out of that?
I don't fucking know. It's cartilage on hair. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? Do you? If it floats your boat to find your lost remote. But
Here you go with that fucking down south shit again.
What the fuck?
I mean,
Go. Always with these down south fucking lingos, slangs, and terminologies, and he don't even know where the fuck they come from.
that one came from Outkast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Roger that. All right, last question before we get the fuck out of here. Pumpkin, what's one struggle meal that you don't give a fuck how people feel you eating that shit for the rest of your motherfucking life?
Oh, corned beef hash. That's probably the one I picked straight out the can.
You don't like corned beef hash?
Ain't nothing but that shit don't even look edible.
I love it. It looked like dog food, but it is so good.
Every
Yeah.
time I see it, that and fucking tuna. As soon as I see both of them, that shit just
You don't like
fucking
tuna
irritates.
either?
I'm not touching that shit for nobody.
Fuck tuna up.
That's wild. You don't do vegetables and you don't do corned beef
Tuna look-
hash
All
or
right,
tuna.
here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a can of tuna, right? And I want you to go get a can of cat food. And I want you to take the labels off both of them, put them in a bag and shake them up, right? So you don't know which is which. And don't do no dumbass shit like hold both of them in your hand and do like this, because I can see you doing some dumbass shit like that. Nah, make it so you can't tell which is which. Then open both of them motherfuckers and then tell me which one you gonna want to eat. Nigga, they both the same shit.
So you
They smell
mistakenly
the
ate some
same, they
cat
look
food.
the same.
So cats is
Again?
getting good food.
You see, yeah, what's on the market now?
Nigga, if
They
cats
have
is getting
they
tuna,
having cat food in fridges now. Their food
Yeah.
coming out the fridge.
nigga, when I'm,
Yeah.
I'm I
Cats
be,
and dogs.
yeah, I be at the
Yeah.
store seeing fucking dog food with fucking organic rice, peas, and pork, and I'm like, nigga, I'm not even eating organic. What the fuck going on?
Facts. You know that shit really ain't organic. They just put that shit on the label so they can upsell the fuck out of them. That shit still slop like everybody else been feeding they motherfucking dog.
Nigga, none of that shit
All that
organic.
shit is.
None of it.
Easy. Struggle meal. You eating the rest of your life. You don't give a fuck how nobody feel about it.
Man, potted meat and crackers.
Dude, I ain't had that shit in forever.
Nick,
meat.
They still make potted meat?
They still make potted meat.
No. What the fuck is potted meat?
All right,
Exactly what he just said.
Yeah. Vienna sausages, but like pureed in a can. But not the sausages though. It's they like pureed Vienna sausages in a can.
Ew.
I'm telling you.
As a youngin', slap that shit on some crackers. That
Some
shit used
salt-
to slap, son.
Saltines, boy, listen.
Fact. That
Listen.
shit used to slap.
Nigga, in college, I put a whole bunch of motherfuckers on potted meat and crackers. They was like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "That's potted meat." I was selling them shits for $1.50 a can. Motherfuckers
Oh,
was
wow.
coming to
And
the
you
window.
was paying like 10 cents a can for them
10
motherfuckers.
cents. I ate a whole semester off of selling fucking potted meat and crackers.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. Hectic.
It's a struggle food.
Let me guess. Nothing is struggle food for you, huh?
Oh, wait a minute.
I ain't necessarily have to struggle.
Or you too good to eat a struggle anything.
Hectic,
I mean,
hectic
what do you
struggle meal
consider
is
struggle food?
hectic
What do
struggle.
you consider struggle food?
Oh
You know,
my God.
hectic-
Hectic never struggled.
Hectic struggle meals of BBW.
Yo.
I'm gonna leave that comment alone. So I mean peanut butter and jelly to me. I mean, I would say, well, no, I'm on my healthy kick, so yeah. I was gonna say ramen, but no, I have to go peanut butter and jelly.
Dude, I found a new ramen today. Fuck.
Them anime ramen be bomb.
Nigga.
Yeah, fire.
It's just like creamy carbonaro fucking ramen I found. Nigga, when I say this shit busting.
If you get it from the actual like Japanese stores,
Yep.
them shits are fire. That's
Yep.
like a real meal.
So I found the Asian market down here, and I went in there today because I went in there for one specific thing. But I'm like, let me walk down the ramen aisle just to see what they got. Nigga, when I say the ramen aisle was 3 aisles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You go in a regular market, they got a small section right here. No, these niggas got 3 full aisles of just ramen.
And our shit got like
all
our
different
shit
types.
got like 4 times the sodium in it. And just that shit's healthier. Like I even got chips like Doritos and shit. Like because we have a Japanese store like across the street from me. You go in there and get that. Now they're more expensive, but when you it's tastier and it's cleaner than eating our shit. Like I see
All
why
their
our
snacks.
food's banned. I see why our food's banned in most of the rest of the world because it's straight garbage.
Yep. Facts. So for me, 2 things that I don't give a fuck how nobody feel: a peanut butter and jelly and some motherfucking Franks and beans. I fuck me some Franks and beans up.
With the peanut butter and jelly.
Hey. I haven't had Franks and beans in like
I never thought about that, Pumpkin, but that's probably gonna happen.
What happened?
He just said the peanut butter and jelly with the Franks and beans. That might be a situation.
Ew.
On the side, not mixed in.
That's what I'm
on
saying.
the side.
No. See, I like to put my Franks and beans on bread, so I'm not gonna make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and then put the shit on there. Nah. You ain't. Hold on. You ain't never had a beans and hot dog sandwich, Pumpkin?
A poke and bean sandwich.
I had that shit that them British people be eating with the potato and the
bangers and mash.
Yeah, the corn and all of that shit. I've had that, but that sounds like some other shit that's kind of like the British shit.
So I'll put y'all on some shit too. Get you some my Eggos. Toast that shit. Get you some peanut butter and some jellies. Slap that. The best shit you can eat.
See, that's why yours is not a struggle meal.
The peanut butter and jelly.
That's not a struggle peanut butter and jelly, my nigga.
Stoner meal.
Waffles.
This nigga upgraded with Eggo waffles. First of all, Eggo waffles ain't cheap, nigga.
Right. You're not struggling if you getting Eggo waffles.
That's why it was so hard for you to think of a struggle meal, nigga.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Ask how many poor niggas that ever had a waffle before they turned 18.
Especially
Are you serious?
Nigga.
I hate waffles, and I think it's because I couldn't get waffles. Like,
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Most hood niggas' first waffle was their first night spending the night in a hotel, and they got continental breakfast the next morning. And they
literally, I was in the Navy the first time I seen a waffle.
No, that's crazy.
I didn't know what the fuck them shits was. When I seen it, I asked them, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that? They was like a waffle. I'm like, all right, what the fuck is it? They like, oh, it's like a pancake with they said it's like a pancake with craters in it. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just make the pancake and call it a day? What the fuck's the difference?
It's hold to serve, hold to serve. Nigga, the first I had a waffle. I think in school we had waffles for breakfast one time. And I was like, yo.
Y'all never had a waffle maker? Oh shit.
What you think? We lying right now, son?
We hung our clothes up on the clothesline.
Hell yeah, nigga.
So you ain't have a dryer, but a waffle maker.
Y'all hung y'all clothes in the line and still had a waffle maker?
Remember my people's from the Caribbean, so that's to them, that's the only way to dry clothes is that hang them up. You can still have the fucking dryer, but you still have clothes hanging.
But hectic. Ain't Caribbean parents super cheap?
Clearly not his.
Well,
this nigga wasted Eggos with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
So it differs, right?
My mom probably would have whooped my ass, nigga. How dare you waste a fucking Eggo like that? Who the fuck you think you is?
I'm telling you, once y'all try it, hit me up. That shit's fire. Caribbean parents is differs though, right? Because you can have different tiers. So you can have the ones that try to assimilate into American culture. So they're whatever the Americans doing, that's what they doing.
Yeah.
You have some that they are frugal but have a lot of money. And then you have some that are just poor, but they try to act like they. I mean, it's the same shit as like
same
Black
shit
America.
with black. Yeah, same shit.
Mhm.
'Cause my homeboys are Jamaican, and both their parents got bread, and both
They
of
don't
them
like to
niggas.
spend it.
They got kids in college. They won't even send them laundry money. Like,
Damn.
boy,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Boy, you better get a job.
Yeah. Well, so that is a thing, right? Like more Caribbean parents believe you could do multiple things, right? You can go to school and you can work.
Yeah.
Because hard work is something that we were taught, especially like me. If my mom couldn't give me nothing, I knew I had to go out there and mow a couple
Figure that shit
grasses
out.
and get it
Yeah.
myself. You know what I mean? So like I don't like my mom, but that's one thing that I do, I guess, kind of appreciate. Oh, you ain't gonna give it to me? Bet I'll be back. You know what I mean? Like I go get this shit myself, kind of shit.
Yeah.
So
So
you
now
do have that.
Now that we all grown and we know what they all taste like, which one would you rather have? French toast, pancakes, waffle?
I'm a pancake person. I love me some pancakes.
See,
And then I can rank them. So I'm pancakes, French toast, then waffle.
I know French toast come third either way, but I'm moody between pancakes and waffles. I like
I
it
don't know
ain't.
why you're moody towards food.
Nah, it's just like if I'm in the mood, for one or the other. So like if I
I
want
guess if we
pancakes,
talking about emotions, he emotional about his breakfast. It is what it is.
Okay, we gang banging on breakfast over here,
Yeah.
But like if I'm craving pancakes, I want pancakes. So like you couldn't give me a waffle if I'm like I want pancakes. That shit happens. My wife, I'll be like, I want a waffle. Make some pancakes, nigga. I said waffle. I don't want no fucking pancake.
I can definitely understand that.
I get you there. Yeah. Like it's like you wanted a burrito, but someone handed you some fucking tacos. No, one burrito.
And I roll them shits up like little blunts and throw it at your motherfucking ass. And be like, give me a burrito.
So why is French toast third for you though?
I'm not a big French toast fan. It's the texture. Like I like it, but I could if it ain't cooked right.
Everybody don't cook their French toast all the way.
If they don't cook it right, it can't be soggy. Like I can't tell that the eggs is in the bread. None of that shit.
You gotta. A lot of people don't know when you make French toast, you actually gotta put it in the oven. It's a custard that you putting in there. You gotta put it in the oven for a little bit. What say you, Pumpkin? Which one you going to? Or rank them if you want.
So first would be pancakes. Second would be waffles because I don't like the holes that's in waffles. Like for sure, I hate the fucking craters.
So why would they be second?
Because they got holes in them. So they'd be second. The third one I hate the most is French toast.
What?
What?
That's
why the waffles are second. Because I hate French toast. Yeah.
She's that fuck
I hate it. Now hear me out.
That's what had us fucked up because you were ranking it and you're like, yeah, but I don't like it because it got holes in it. And we're like,
do it make sense now? You gotta give me a chance sometimes. Like it makes sense. I hate French toast, but I like French toast sticks. That's the other part that don't make sense. Like if you
that's
fuck all.
That's different.
For real.
Listen, French toast sticks though.
Fuck all.
French toast sticks is different. French toast sticks is different than French toast though. The sticks are way different. So
it tastes better, and if you cut them up, I might eat them. Like if you cut the French toast up, I might eat them as French toast sticks cut up.
Nigga, ain't nobody about to go through all that making French toast and cutting them up.
Right?
What?
Princess. So you cut these up, Vladimir. And put some fruit on them
Vladimir,
for me.
Though? Cut them up, Vladimir, though?
Yeah.
Hey, she got a Russian butler.
I don't care. It's
That's
fine.
crazy. For me, French toast is always gonna be at the top. I fucks with French toast, especially if you make it out of like raisin bread or some shit like that.
Mm.
That's
You know
different.
the brioche, what is they call them?
Brioche,
Cheddar.
not
Yeah,
bruschetta, brioche. Say it right.
that's what I said. How do you say it?
Brioche.
Okay, that bread.
Right.
You can tell he knows. Oh, I know this word. I got you.
Yeah. Well, didn't they have that as a French toast at the one spot we went to in Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
Man, we
Yeah,
found the
that's
best.
how you. That's one of the best breads to make the French toast with, for real, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you ain't never had it, try that shit on some cinnamon raisin bread. That
Yeah.
shit is fucking next level right there.
Or a honey bun.
I still got to try that. What I did have though,
No, wait. French toast on a honey bun.
No, honey bun French toast.
yeah, I still ain't tried it yet. That's next on the list. But I did French toast an apple fritter before.
Oh, that
That
had to be
shit was
fire.
fucking fire right there.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
shit was fire right there.
Hold up though, because I seen this shit on Facebook. The boy turned fucking oatmeal cream pies paws into donuts.
I
I
don't know
seen
if
that.
oatmeal cream pies is a Paul's thing.
Well, this I don't know. With you on the show saying cream pie might be a little risky.
That's what she said. I love
Yo.
giving cream pies.
See
It's
what I
bad
mean?
because I can say pause to certain shit and it's like it's normal, but it's like with hectic, you really do gotta watch what the fuck you say when this nigga's around. Like, because everything is a different meaning. Like,
Yeah, it's not safe. It is not safe.
That
it's
is
a
my
whole
fault.
different meaning.
It is not
It
fucking
is,
safe.
nigga.
How?
Absolutely your fault.
Because it's you, nigga.
If you say, "Hey, I like cream pies," I'm gonna be like,
I would never
"What
tell you that.
pie?"
I would
Yeah.
never tell you. There's no
Never.
conversation where I would feel the need that I have to let you know that.
If you like cream pies, like actual the cream pies.
Nigga, it would say Little Debbie's oatmeal cream pies
Exactly.
in front of it.
I'm saying the whole fucking name, nigga. I might even
Yeah.
try to think of a different way to say
Right.
this shit while
You know the little
bullshit.
Debbie, you know the little Debbie cake with the oatmeal cream?
With with stuff in the middle.
Yeah, the one with the little girl on the box.
Yeah.
That's a fact. All
Yeah.
right. We fixing to get the fuck up out of here. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know how we get down. So, talk your shit, son.
All right, so go check me out, HD Nation. That's official HD Nation on YouTube. I appreciate y'all running the views up. I keep looking at this shit. I'm addicted to watching the views go up. Thank you. Go check out Whatever by Hectic. We're back with season 3. We also have Beyond Pixels, which I talk about different, subject matter and stuff like that. I think the next one will drop is about anime, my favorite animes for this season. So go and check that out. Official HD Nation, and then you can follow all my other stuff that you want to follow. I don't care about any of that shit.
Can folks reach out to you to be on your show?
Of what? Which show?
Whatever by nigga. What the fuck?
I have 2 shows.
What the fuck
That's
did you
me
think I was
specific.
talking about, my nigga?
I know. Yeah, they can reach out to me if they want to be a
see
guest
why
on
we
the
just
show.
said what we said? You see why we said that?
Oh, yes. If you would like to be a guest on Whatever by Hectic, you can reach out to me at whateverbyhectic@gmail.com. Subject matter guest. If you're skittish, if you don't like to talk, if you don't like weird questions, my show's not the show for you. So, yeah.
Roger the fuck that. Darkness.
Darkness, everybody. Y'all know what it is, man. You can find me on Instagram, Easy the General, Facebook, fuck with your boy, all streaming platforms for the music. Right now, I'm working on my next project. I'm in the studio, actively producing and writing and recording for this new project. And then I'm trying to put together a little something special for y'all. It's in the works right now, so I'm not gonna go into too much details, but be on the lookout. You'll see the hashtag if you follow me on IG. You'll kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Outside of that, I'm just moving and shaking. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stay out the way. Pause. Because, yeah.
It's your girl Petty Ass Pumpkin because like
all the way off guard.
you just pissed me off. Like, dang. Okay, it's your girl Petty Ass Pumpkin. Follow me on everything at PettyAssPunkin. Follow me on Twitter at Hoes and Skittles. Make sure you watch my new music video, She Petty Ass Pumpkin. And listen to my new single, Billie Jean Petty Ass Pumpkin. And Trench Bitch Volume 2 is on the way. Make sure you check out Trench Bitch Volume 1.
Play catch up, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That way when the next one drop, you know what's going on.
You know what I mean?
You already in the ways. Listen, if you want to be a guest on the show, you want to come over, you want to talk some shit with us, you just want to join the conversation, or you got something actually worth talking about. You promoting a business, you do something decent, you are enlightened in something we're not enlightened in. You want to teach us some shit. Hit us up. 2020 all on the table at gmail.com. Or just hit me up on Instagram, Enlightened Idiot. It's 2 Enlightened Idiots pages. Both of them is me. So it doesn't really matter which one you reach out to. Also on Facebook, same thing, Enlightened Idiot. Hit me up and we can figure out a time slot that we can get you on the show to come talk some shit. I had somebody ask me, hey man, I just want to come chop it up with y'all. I don't really do shit. I just want to come talk with y'all. We can definitely make that happen as well. You may learn something from us, but at the same time, a lot of people don't understand. You ain't got to be great at something to teach somebody something.
Boom.
It's just that motherfucker simple. But, motherfuckers, until next week, get enlightened, stay enlightened, and be enlightened. And we out this bitch. Deuces.